whether the landlord is the owner of that property or not, he's not expected to trespass into that property or even cause any changes to that property without the express permission of the tenant.
Is it right to remove the roof of that tenant? And what are the legal eviction procedures available to the landlord? It's another Thursday with your internet lawyer. My name is Barrister Precious, and I'm here with.
Your internet lawyer, Barrister Emmanuel.
Is it okay for a landlord to remove the roof of a tenant because he has not paid rent?
Of course, it's wrong for that landlord to remove the roof of that tenant, irrespective of the fact that he's owing a rent. From the legal standpoint of doing so, it can translate to malicious damages. Whether the landlord is the owner of that property or not, he's not expected to trespass into that property or even cause any changes to that property without the express permission of the tenant.
Oh, okay, okay. So there's this tenant who is owing, who has been owing rent for about 3 years now, and then the landlord removed the roof of the tenant due to the fact that he was owing rent. So I wanted to ask, what are the legal procedures that the landlord can follow to evict such a tenant?
Okay, so eviction procedures in Nigeria is quite simple. It starts with service of notices, that is the 6 months eviction notice or quit notice as it's generally called, of the landlord letting the tenant know of his or her intention of recovering that premise at the end, that is at the due date of that particular tenant's tenancy. So it starts by serving that notice, and if the tenant has not left, even after the effusion of time or after the tenancy has become due, the tenant is still possessing that property. The landlord can still proceed with sending a 7 days owner's intention to apply to court to recover such a premise from that tenant. Then if the landlord has served this and the tenant has still not left the property, what the landlord is going to do now is to approach the court to apply for the eviction procedures to commence, where the court will now serve the tenant with pre-action notice, and then the action itself commences, and then eviction is now left for court and enforcement. So those are the processes or the procedures that the landlord can follow to effectively evict such a tenant from his or her property.
Okay. So in a situation whereby the landlord has already removed the tenant's roof, right? What rights and protections are available for such a tenant?
So in situations where the landlord has already proceeded to remove the roof of that tenant, it could be said that the landlord has resorted to self-help, which is not right in any sense. So the rights that are available to such a tenant whose roof has already been removed by the landlord is application to court for malicious damage. Which means the tenant can sue that landlord for malicious damages and then ask the court to award damages to him or her for loss of properties that they've incurred in that process. So before you as a landlord decide to remove the roof of that tenant who has not been paying you, make sure you follow these due processes because that is the law.
Thank you, Barrister Emmanuel, for that insight. There you have it, guys. Now you know that it is not right for a landlord to remove the roof of a tenant simply because he hasn't paid his rent.
See you again next time. My name is Barrister Manuel and I remain your internet lawyer.